A little bit to you, brother, is a lot to me. Those are Christ. All right, shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashir Shah, Barakathum, Yahweh Shemartha Bashir Shah. Precinct Officer 5000, you die holding it down till 12 Shield. General Mahayaman gets here. General Mahayaman will be in the building. Understand something? As blacks, Latinos, right, and Native American Indians, the water warrior, I appreciate you. You know, we have to come back to what our God said to do. What did our God tell us? Our God told us to obey him, man. Our God told us to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments and have faith in our King, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Our King Christ, Yahweh Shah, gave up his life so we could come back into this truth, not to celebrate the holidays of the oppressor, not to celebrate Memorial Day, not to celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Halloween and your birthday. Our God told us this, man, that we should keep the commandments and live. Because we're not really living right now, Mathumya. We're not. You are not living. Right now, our people are the walking dead. Let me explain something to you. If I could, let me get Baruch, the 4th chapter, right? Bob, let me get Baruch 4 and 1. Y'all got any questions? Type your questions into the chat now. Got to understand something. That when you come into this school, when you come into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you know what I mean? If you're a brother, you put on that all black. You know what I mean? Putting on that all black, it's just amazing, Barzal. And you are committed, you know what I mean, dedicated, you know what I mean, to changing your life. To understand that you want to put off the old man and become the new man. To not do the things that you did before. To let that old man die with Christ and become a new man. And to finally live life the way life was supposed to be lived. Because right now, we don't know what living life is. You don't. You don't. You have no idea. And I'm going to show you what life is according to God. Give me Baruch chapter 4, verse 1.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. Mm-hmm. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God. And this whole Bible is the book of the commandments of the Most High. Keep reading.
And the law that endureth forever.
For a little bit.
Forever.
For a short while.
Forever.
The law that endured forever. Meaning these laws, statutes, and commandments endure forever. The thing is, not for a little while, and this is why the Christian church and the Muslim mosque has failed our people of Thunya, because our people believe that you can celebrate these so-called holidays, that you can celebrate your birthday, that you can live a free, white, and 21 lifestyle of your Black, Latino, and Native American Indian. I'm here to tell you, our God said that you can't. You cannot. Our God said this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endured forever. It was unlawful to be a sodomite during the time of Adam, and it's unlawful to be one now. It was unlawful to eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster back then, just as it's unlawful to do so now. Keep reading.
Okay. All they that keep it shall come to life.
All they that keep it shall come to life. What is that life? That life is the law. That's what life is. Right. Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. Here in America, you know what I mean, and all across the earth, our people are literally walking around as the walking dead. I know y'all love those zombie shows. I know there's a bunch of conspiracy theories that believe, the day's going to come when people are going to be mindless zombies, not realizing that that's our people today. I'll prove it to you. Everybody around this time on that second to last Monday of May, you pull the grill out and you cook out, you know what I mean, for Memorial Day every year. Right. Like clockwork. You're going to do the same thing for the 4th of July. Wait till Halloween come around when you're going to dress your kids up as ghouls and goblins and send them to the known pedophile that's on the registry and send them to his house. And then you're going to worship, you know what I mean, another god, you know what I mean, in Christmas and Saturnalia. You're a zombie. Our people literally are the walking dead. You're doing the same nonsense, like something that Barzal used to always say, like, are you a child? Are you a baby? Are you a kid? Now is the time to grow up. And in growing up, this is how you grow up. This is how you truly live life, by doing what God says to do. That's why a lot of our people walk around now at Thunya, even though you have millions of dollars, like the few I mean, 1 to 5% of our people that actually have a few dollars. Guess what? I'm talking about the big money too. And even like all of our people, you walk around and you may feel as though that you are successful in life, that you have money, that you have this, you have that, but you still have this emptiness to you. You still have an emptiness to you that brings, you know what I mean, depression and all type of other demons and anxiety because you're not truly living your life. You can truly live your life by coming into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, by putting off that old you. That old you likes to get high. That old you likes to do whatever drug and lascivious behavior. And that lifestyle is the quickest way to die. That's why our God said, this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endure forever. All they that keep it shall come to life. You keep it, you'll come to life. Read.
But such as leave it shall die.
As such as leave it shall die. Fanya, give me a Deuteronomy 30. Give me Deuteronomy 30, and I want to say 19. 30. Yeah, 30 and 19. Bubba Quishaw. This is what we got to understand. Our people think we actually have a choice. I was talking to a sister about this the other day, Barnes. I was talking about, we have free will. We have free will. If you want to go and do this or do that, you can. I'm like this. Where is that in the Bible? She was like, oh, it's all throughout and can't show it to me. That is not what our God told us. That is not what the Most High said. The problem is you go into that church and you look at that oppressor up there, the beach blonde, you know what I mean? The bad, what the sister say? You know what I mean? The beach blonde, bad body built. Listen, man. You think Christ looks like that. You think the Most High, is an oppressor. And that's not true. Our God is a father. Our God is a man, and not just any man, a black man in spirit. And this is what he said when it comes to the matter of if you have free will.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day.
Our God said, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. Keep reading.
That I have set before you life and death.
Our God said, I set before you life and death. I've set life before you. Life is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And death is the penalty for not keeping it. Keep reading.
Blessing and curse.
Blessing and cursing. Blessing and cursing. And not realizing this is right here in the Bible. Who in their right mind, if you would ask them, you can either be blessed or you can be cursed? Who in their right mind is going to pick cursed? Who's going to pick that? Be like, no, bro, no, big bro, I want to be cursed. Right. I'm trying to die. And the sad part is, right, Bob, our people choose that every day, unwillingly. Have no clue that that's what you're choosing. But in your right state of mind, you wouldn't choose a curse over a blessing. But then again, I don't know. Our people kind of, we kind of slow. Right. Like we was talking about it last week, and jokingly. Brothers like Quatazar Karab would have chose that dinner with Jay-Z over 500,000. My bad. C-Stacks would have chosen. I'm joking, man. Quatazar would not have taken the dinner with Jay-Z. But you got some brothers that would have did it, boys, though. That'd definitely take that dinner with Jay-Z versus 500,000. So you unwillingly knowing that you are choosing that cursing. You're choosing death. When in your right frame of mind, nobody's picking that. I'll tell you. Our God said, I've set before you death and life, blessing and cursing. Read.
Therefore, choose life.
Therefore, what?
Choose life.
Our God said, therefore, choose life. That wasn't an ultimatum. That wasn't an option. Our God told us to choose life. Choose life. Do not choose death. Don't choose the curse. We're supposed to be blessed above all the nations of country. Blessed above everybody. That's what our God said. He told us that he called heaven and earth to record this day against us. That I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life. Choose the commandments. That's what we are supposed to pick. We ain't supposed to choose death. We ain't supposed to be choosing being cursed, being at the bottom. Right. Man, I don't know about y'all, but listen, man, I get offended, Quatazar, when I see the oppressor really doing anything. When we supposed to be in charge, we're supposed to be on top, but because of some bad decisions, following after them, you see what happened, right? See what happened? You get caught up in all type of carnal things. The oppressor is good at that. He hits you with the allure of getting money, being a megastar. That's the one I don't understand, the fun, y'all. You want to be a megastar. Brother, King David said that he'd rather be a doorman. He'd rather man the door in Christ's kingdom. You get what I'm saying? Ready to man the door in Christ's kingdom. Nathaniel, you gotta straighten your head, please. Don't worry. And that should tell you the mindset that David was in. That King David was in. He said, I'd rather be a doorman in the kingdom. Being humble as can be. Why would you want anything in this oppressor's society? You know what you got to do? You got to compromise who you are. You got to compromise everything about you. He wants you high. He wants you being a sexual deviant. It's a rough situation, Quadratine. Choose life. Choose the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Command of General Yohanan.
That's right.
Choose that. You choose that, brother. I promise you, you will not regret it. You will understand what it is like to truly live instead of being that zombie that you are right now. It ain't worth it, Nathaniel. I hear you. Some of y'all get enticed by the smallest things.
Right.
I ain't gonna go over some of the things y'all get enticed by. Yeah, I mean, Nathaniel, brothers will sell out for a Dutch master any day of the week. Selling out for a Swisher sweet. I mean, quite the time to get crazy, brother. Brothers sell out for a Swisher sweet, a turkey sandwich, and a pack of Romeo wrap snack. Shout out Officer Doc. You can sell out for less, and you think you're gonna become a superstar. Understand this, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Choose life. Choose our God. Choose our King. Choose this brotherhood, because it ain't nothing like it. I'll give you one more. Quadazar Karab, give me Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let me show you what the whole duty of every Black, Latino, and First Nation man is. And I see you. I see most of y'all on the internet. I especially see the fake Israelites, Quadazar. I see it. I see them. You know, Nathaniel and Nathaniel being the sisters' DMs. I know. The single ones. They be right there on the single ones' DMs. Talking about Shalom, sis. Get in the van. I am 15% better than that last. Let's listen. Understand something. You out there being an individual, like knowing you Israel, but you don't know anything. You're like a child. You just want to get on social media and be facetious. So one thing I understand, Barzal, is the whole social media thing. Like, if I could just take the time to sidebar, Akim Akwafiam, social media is not a counselor. It is not a counselor. And I'm going to share something with you on behalf of Command and General Yohanan. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Oh, I'm mad at so-and-so is my op. Who does that bitch think she is? I'm going to show them. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're not going to get over it until you go through the proper protocols that our king set up in pulling a brother or sister to the side. You look real gay going to social media and having the social media be your counselor. You look real soft, especially if you're a brother. Like, your first instinct shouldn't be go to social media and talk about such and such, and then get mad enough and unfriend them and block them. Like, come on, bro, we grown men. I thought you're looking like, who the fuck, who did that? You'd be surprised. Be surprised. You got some brothers that struggle in the closet with their proclivities. You can't be in here doing that, though, because the Lord will get you out of here. Like General Mahayaman always says, stronger by subtraction. That's why the law is important. That's why what our God set up for us is important, and what our King expounded on. That's why it's always important to follow protocol. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
This is the conclusion of the entire matter. This is it. Keep going.
Fear God.
Fear what?
God.
Good night. Fear God. That's what you got to understand. You got to fear the Most High. I see y'all. I don't fear nothing. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Y'all afraid of a lot of things. You know, it's but some y'all, there's a few things that I realize that brothers are afraid of. Not brothers in here. You're afraid of counsel. You're afraid of the oppressor. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Those are the main two things. And when I say afraid of counsel, you're afraid of being wrong because Satan got you in your mind thinking that you are right, that you are right about everything. No, you are not. You're afraid of the oppressor, your compromise, and you're afraid of counsel. You can't be like that and be in here. You cannot, because you're not going to last. You have to fear the Most High. And let me explain something to you. There are things worse than death. I don't think y'all understand that part. There are things far worse than you physically dying. The Lord could put you in a situation where you could wish you was dead. And you could wish you was gone. Fear the Most High. You too busy looking at the oppressor and too busy, worried about nonsense that don't really matter. You'll talk yourself out of a crown. You'll let Satan talk you out of a crown. Don't be that, brother and sister. Keep going.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. Don't fall. Understand something. And when I say don't fall, I mean don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the foolishness. You listen. Our people get beguiled by Satan all the time through promises of richer and grander and all type of nonsense. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
So like I want to bring out is so heavy because Satan feeds on your insecurity.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of brothers don't want to go to counsel or preach. Because you insecure about something you insecure about, especially knowing you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other things in your insecurities that Satan is in your ear about.
Come.
He's feeding it, making that fire more and more. And that's how our brothers just fall off from that.
What you saying, brother, is so heavy. That's what makes what our King did such an amazing and glorious thing. That our King loved us so much, that he expounded on many things and had to tell us, like, if you have an issue, pull that brother to the side. He understood that. Christ ain't died so you can be facetious on Facebook and Instagram. Throwing what they call it, what they call it, Nathaniel, that the kids be doing now, saying nowadays, throwing shade. Like, Christ ain't died so you can throw shade at a brother or sister. Christ ain't died so you can continue to get high and hate your brother or your sister in secret. Shalom, warrior, Lord Christ. He ain't do it for that. And what you're saying is heavy. Yes, Satan will play on your insecurities. He's going to be in your head telling you anything. And you're going to listen. You're going to listen. You don't want to listen to the Most High. You don't want to listen to the council. That's what the council. When you go to council, when you get in the council in the UPK, you better believe Christ is in the midst of all that. Right. Christ said what's bound here is also bound up there. So you're not what you're really afraid of. You're afraid of something deep. Something deeper. And it shows where your mind is mentally. At the hold that Satan got on you, man. Don't be that brother or sister. That's why, it is a sin. You are ready to hate your brother, to hate your sister. Pull them to the side. You can't have no oughts between you. And listen, brothers disagree. It's all right to disagree. Don't sweat that. Let's go to council. And we still gonna be brothers before the council, and we're gonna be stronger brothers after the council. That's what you gotta understand is. It's supposed to make the brotherhood stronger. Then you gotta understand with correction is real love. Correction is real love. Understand that. And what is love? Keeping the commandments. Keeping the commandments. So if you hate your brother, it's impossible for you to keep the commandments. You hate your sister, it's impossible. Because what does the scripture say? You know what I want, Quadazar? I believe it's in 1 John. Yeah, you know what I want? 1 John 4:20. Let me get 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20, Bubba for sure. You see it all the time, Nathaniel. Like in the whole duty of man is to keep these commandments, which includes you have to love your brother or your sister. You do. Read what you got, Quadazar.
That's the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20.
Go ahead.
If a man say, I love God.
Listen, man, you ask any brother or sister in the world, man, they're going to claim to love God. They're going to claim to love the Most High in the church. Oh, they know God personally in the Bible. Your pastor. Before and after he was getting swallowed up, he met God in 1988. Good night. That was a rough one, I tell you. That's a rough spot. He said, if a man say, I love God, read.
And hated his brother.
And hated his brother. You saying that you love God and hate your brother, read.
He is a liar.
He is a what?
Liar.
A liar. A liar. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. If you claiming to love the Most High, but you hate your brother, you are a liar. You're a liar. And I see you. And that is the majority of your fake Israelite groups, Bakar Yala. You claiming to love the Most High, but you're not in here. You in the basement somewhere, eating, ooh-wee, eating matzah crackers. You out there having fellowship. Like, what is that? What is fellowship? You having fellowship with other in unity camps. What the hell is that? All of y'all teaching different doctrines. You hate your brother. You do. Because if you loved your brother, you'd be here. You'll be here in the truth where you belong. You hate the truth so much, you go band with other niggas that hate the UPK. And then you come together and have little lamb dinners by yourself, talking about his Passover. Having some of this Sabbath because of the moon and all this other garbage, Shabar's out. You should hear some of the things that they say. And the whole time, and guess what? They don't even like each other, Thunder. They hate each other too. You ain't no different than the Christian church and the Muslim mosque. We watch it every year, man. But y'all, how many brothers we know out there in the world claiming to be Muslim, out there, that was out there cheating on Ramadan? We saw them. We saw them, y'all. They was out there cheating on Ramadan. Because in Islam and Christianity and being a fake Israelite, you can't possibly love the Most High because you hate your brother. Keep reading.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he have not seen?
You see your brother all the time. You see your brother all the time. Every day. I'll give you a similar scenario. You know what I mean? You have a brother that you down with, that you see every day. And you think we cool the whole time. You know what I mean? He got a little alt against you. You're just afraid to, you know what I mean, to come to you about it. Especially in that church. Oh man, put on that fake smile. They do it every week. They do it every week. Claiming they love God and love each other, but they abusing each other and each other's babies. And hating on each other. You see them. How can you claim to love the Most High and you see your brother every day and you hate him? Read that again. Right there.
How can he love God whom you have not seen?
How can you love God whom you have not seen? You ain't never met or seen the Most High in your life. And I want to talk to some of y'all fake Israelite groups. Listen, man, and some of y'all brothers, I be seeing you on TikTok. One brother be claiming he get counsel from the Most High directly. And I'm like, brother. Now, brother. Like, no, done. He thought, listen, you want to find brother think, you know what I mean, that the Most High is in correspondence with him. Brother, that's Satan That is Satan talking to you. That ain't the Most High. You ain't never seen the Most High. Like, you don't know quite a lot. Like, it really burned me up when they be like, well, God told me. Will God do it? Won't he do it? If that's the case, and I'm going to give a few scenarios. Brother, if that's the case, then, if you talk to God, then why is your life still in turmoil? Why ain't things going right for you? How come you're not a billionaire yet? How come you ain't on the cover of Essence? Sis, how come you ain't got no man? Why can I go on your page and there be a link tree and a payment option of $7.99 if God is talking to you? And some of y'all brothers with these mixtapes.
I need my phone. It'll be here in a minute, but I think I sent you a few things. You have problems? Okay, no sweat. All right, Akim Agwathian. I'll take your questions in the room and online. I'll do the Los Anuncios in 1 second. We're up online, though, I'm assuming. Okay. So I'll take your questions. We'll go over Memorial Day. It's an important breakdown that you need every Memorial Day. The holiday where Black and Hispanic men went to fight overseas for freedom and received none at home. And so without you, they will always be forgotten on Memorial Day. We'll go into a few brothers that should not be forgotten on Memorial Day, all right? We'll go into that in 1 second. For now, I will take your questions online and in the room. You're up, Warrior. Questions.
Can you give me a breakdown of what does it mean to worship a man or like worship Christ, I guess, or worship God?
No problem. The word worship in a nutshell means to give reverence to or to bend the knee to. To bend the knee or to bow down to. Is there a reason you asked the question?
I mean, just growing up like, worship, like being in the church.
Go ahead.
Like, let's worship Christ. I'm like, and everybody thinks, it's carrying, what I mean, whatever. But like, I know they gotta do something else besides doing that. That's not
Well, being in the truth, the term worship, who to worship, who not to worship, that's another one of those things that is extremely simple if you're in the truth, but when you're in the world, it's very difficult. Because of course, Christ said, don't worship him. Worship the Father. Christ said that, correct? But then you'll hear about people in the Bible falling down and doing what? Worshiping Christ. Many brothers and sisters in the world believe we're wrong because we call the men above us Lord, because we call the men above us Adawan or Señor in Espanol. They believe that is incorrect to do. They believe that when I say that Commanding General Yohana is my liege Lord, he is who I obey. I am assigned to obey him, not God. Instead of God, I obey Commanding General Yohana for God. You understand? Of course, if you're in the world and you're in the Christian church, you're gripping your pearls and you don't even understand what a statement like that means because you and I are not alike. Everyone understands. Of course, I'll explain it to you. Go to any precept that you would like about worship or anything you want, all right? They're all over the place if you want, all right? Just pick one up. And also, someone else should give me 1 King. I appreciate you, Warrior. It might be 2 Kings 2 and 14. When the mantle, look up, if you can't find it, look up where Elisha took up Elijah's mantle. All right. Hold that first. What do you have? The one in Matt? You have one in which one do you have? In the New Testament or the Old Testament? Hold that. But first, give me the one in the New Testament, because usually that's where the confusion comes from. Go ahead, Warrior.
Is it John 4:24?
That's fine.
God is a spirit, and that they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
That's the word worship right there, right? God is a spirit, meaning God is not a man. If you're going to worship God, you're going to have to do it in spirit, meaning not the way you would do it to a man, but you'll have to do it in spirit and in truth. What does the word truth mean in this? sincerely. Meaning you're not going to, there's a way to worship a man and it's lawful, because the word worship means to praise or bow down before or kneel in front of. That is not the way you worship the Most High God. That's a different thing. You can worship man with man service. You can look like you obey him. You understand? It's a way to do it. You can say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. They do it in the white man's military all the time. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Meanwhile, they hate him and they go back into their barracks and curse him and they can't stand him and they're plotting on shooting him and saying it's an accident. You understand? Men, you can give them eye service. That's what the Bible calls it, eye service. But with the Most High, you cannot do that. You understand? You're going to worship the Most High, brother. It has to be for real, because he is a spirit. He's not a man. He sees what is in your mind. He sees what is true. Men cannot. Men can only try with the Most High's help. You understand? Give me another one. New Testament. Give me where Christ said, why does thou call me good? Or do not worship me, worship the Father. I'll take that. Water for the drink, warrior. It's outstanding as usual. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto him, why callest thou me good?
Who's speaking here? What color is it written in?
Red.
It's in red. Young brothers and sisters, that means that this is a quote from Yahushua, our King, Jesus Christ. Keep going.
There is none good but one.
There is only one person that's good. Keep going.
That is God.
Meaning the Most High is the only one that's good. Why are you calling me good? Let me ask you a question. Is Jesus Christ good? He's the best. Do you understand? Yeah, he's good. Are there any other men that are good? Yes, there are good men all throughout the Bible and good men in this room and good men all throughout the earth fighting the good fight. There are good men. Of course, Jesus Christ is good. So what does he mean then? There is none good but the Father. What is he saying? What's the point? Huh? What's the spirit of this? What's the truth of what he's saying? Officer.
To worship God.
Why? But he said no man is good but him. That's what he said. Which is, of course, literally not true. It's not true that he's not good. He's the best. Do you understand? But he absolutely said there is no one good but the Father. Why did he say it? Officer. Right here in the middle. Come. Give him a hand. Rank is why he said it. Because if you go to him and give him a compliment, he does not take that compliment. If you go and say, Christ, you're good, don't call me good. The one I serve, he is good. Rank is why he refused to take a compliment. That was true, because he absolutely is good. But there's someone above him, and in humility and in kindness, Christ behaves himself like a knight. You understand me? And that culture is in the UPK. We behave ourselves like medieval knights to this day. And that's how he behaved when he received the compliment. And someone said he's good. No, you call him good. He refers right to the man he serves, his Lord. He goes to him if you offer him a compliment. Everyone understands. Is the word worship anywhere around here? That's what I'm looking for, a precept with the word worship in it. Then I'll go to the one in 2 Kings. They fell and worshiped him. It's all over the place. I don't have my concordance here yet. It's anyone that says worship, you type worship into your concordance. You give me one in the New Testament speaking about Christ. You up front. You got it. If it's about, I'll take it.
Howbeit in vain do they worship thee, teaching for doctrine the commandments of men.
That's another one where Christ is saying that they worship him in vain because they don't actually follow him. They give Christ what? Come on. They give Christ eye service. They talk like they love him and will follow him. You're the king. Oh my goodness. Think about all the throngs of people that waved palms at him when he was coming into Jerusalem, riding an ass's colt. How many people came out to see him? And then when he was being crucified, there were 11 people there. That's that. He fed 5,000 people with what? 5 fish and 2 loaves, or the reverse. At the end, when on his worst day, there were 11 people there. In vain do they worship him. Their heart is far from him. Do you understand? They don't actually follow Christ. They talk about him. They give him eye service. And you can do that with a man, but you can't do it with the Most High. Everyone understands. Give me another worship one from the New Testament. Don't worship. Give me something else just to bring the point home to the brother. Go ahead, Ak.
God, this is the book of John 4:22. He worshiped, we know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation of the Jews.
There you go. That's speaking about the Most High. Because this woman was trying to go into the mountain, the holy mountain of Israel in Samaria, and praise the Father, compliment the Father, voice her undying loyalty to the Most High. She's doing that for nothing, because the Most High God does not recognize her or her people, because salvation is of the Jews. Everyone understands. Now, give me the one in 2 Kings, and then I'll wrap this up. Let me ask Alexa, maybe she knows. Alexa, what does the word worship mean in the New Testament?
The word worship in the New Testament means a feeling of deep reverence, admiration, and adoration for someone or something. It is expressed through heartfelt love, dedication, and devotion. By the way,
Alexa, stop. I mean, that's pretty good for Alexa, because she said someone or something. What does that mean? You absolutely can praise a man, compliment a man. You can voice your loyalty to a man. It is not a sin. It is absolutely different than that thing you give to the Most High. That's a whole different thing. That's something that is different than words that come out of your mouth. It's different because he sees into your heart. Everyone understands. To prove it, give me the one I asked you for in 2 Kings.
God, this is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 13. He took up also the mantle of Elijah.
What we're speaking about here is when the prophet Elijah died. When he died, the one that rode with him the closest, the one that was serving under him, Elisha. Elijah was Elisha's liege lord, his lord. He didn't obey God. He obeyed Elijah. He was assigned to him. He knew what God said because Elijah told him what God said. Do I need to give you the precept? Of course I do. Give it to me in Exodus. Give me Moses and Aaron. He shall be unto you as unto a mouth or a tongue. Hold that one you holding right there, warrior. And then give me the one in Exodus, I believe. Is that right, you there? He shall be unto you instead of. That's what I need. If you look up instead of, you'll see it. Instead of. I believe it's in Exodus. Is that right? Is that right, Ak?
Okay.
Tell them where you are.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 16. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people.
This is when Aaron, I'm sorry, 1 second. This is when Moses complained to the Most High that he could not be a public speaker. He could not go into Pharaoh and speak. He could not speak for the people because Moses had a speech impediment. That's what you would call what he had today. Imagine a very severe stammer or stutter, where your tongue is broken. But yet the Most High God told him to go speak. And Moses said he couldn't do it. The Most High said, did I not create the tongue? Sure, you can do it. Moses persisted that he couldn't do it. The Most High said, fine. Like any good father, he was kind to Moses. And he said, okay, instead of you speaking, I'm going to send you Aaron. He's coming down the road right now to meet you, Aaron. He sent him Aaron. And he said, when Aaron gets here, read it from the top.
Oh God. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people.
And Aaron will be your spokesman unto the people. Go ahead.
And he shall be, even he shall be the.
Start again.
And he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth.
Stop right there. And even, meaning, and it gets worse. This is how extreme it is. Not only is he going to be your mouthpiece to the people, he's even going to be. You understand it now? It's worded in Old English, but you have to practice to know. But today you would say, he's going to be your spokesman unto the people. He's even going to be what?
Shall be thee instead of a mouth.
He will even be to you instead of a mouth. Now you don't need a mouth because you have who? Come on. Officer Aaron. You don't need a mouth. Forget that tongue. Forget your stammer and your stutter. You keep it. Keep stuttering. Because you will have Aaron to even be your mouth. Keep going.
Oh God. And thou shalt be to him instead of God.
Read it again.
And thou shalt be to him instead of God.
Officer up front, do you understand that? And you, Aaron, and he is going to be to you instead of God. Aaron didn't serve God. He served his liege lord, Moses. At least he was supposed to. And he had some problems when he made that golden calf. Everybody understands. Some of you will have those same problems. You fall when stress arises, when the people want something and you don't have the strength to resist. That's the point, please.
So, I understand that women are the weaker vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we can do to change that?
I'll go into that in 1 second. That's off the topic. But I absolutely will answer that question because it's something that you must do to change that. No problem. Just stand by, all right? Go ahead to King, 2 Kings now, I believe. See me one more time, please, my thumb up.
God. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 13. He took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and went back and stood by the bank of Jordan. And he took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and smote the water.
Skip down one verse. This is about a miracle he performed with Elijah's cloak, with his garment. Keep going.
Verse 15. And when the sons of the prophets.
When who?
The sons of the prophets.
Many people don't know. You might think about Aaron. You might think about Elijah and Elisha like two old men with long beards in the woods. That's from the movies. But they were camps of men. The sons of the prophet was the camp that Elijah was over. They were called the sons of the prophets. It wasn't just him and Elijah, two old men with long sticks in the woods. There were schools. And these are the men that learned under Elijah. But Elisha was his second in command. The sons of the prophets, the rest of the camp came and saw that Elijah had the same power that Elisha had. And this is what they did. Continue.
And when the sons of the prophets, which were to view at Jericho, saw him, they said, the spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha.
The spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha, meaning the same power that Elijah had, Elisha has that too. Continue.
And they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground before him.
They came to meet him and they said, boom. And they bowed down before him, acknowledging that now he sat in the seat of Elijah. He became their Lord. That day, he proved himself. Now, once again, if you're some purple pig, what do you follow? A bishop? A deacon? I know you don't understand this life. This is the only life I could have ever lived. Everyone understands. That's what worship. We don't use worship today. It's the same thing as compliments or them getting on their knee and worshiping him. That is worship when you just say, I acknowledge you're in charge. You're great. You're wonderful. You're the best. We're with you. Right? That's worship. We don't use that word today because the Christian church has polluted the understanding of the word worship. That's the same reason we do not use the word bishop or deacon. Because although those are biblical phrases, the Christian church has polluted the understanding of bishop, deacon, and worship. Everybody understands? So in the UPK, we would just say, we praise this brother or congratulate this brother. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Everybody understands. But however, it is different when you give it to the Most High. It's a lot more difficult, and you cannot lie, even if you try. Everyone understands. To the sister, your question was, please say it again. If you don't.
I understand that women are the weaker vessel. Is there anything that we can do to change that?
Absolutely. Did everyone hear her online today? Okay, precept. Alexa, how do I say precept in Spanish?
Precept in Spanish is preestablecido.
Preestablecido. Alexa, how do I say precept in Spanish?
Precept in Spanish is preestablecido.
Preestablecido. Someone confirm that. I'm not so sure if Alexa is telling the truth about that one. All right. We have it. Go ahead.
I had 1 Peter 3:5-6.
That's not where I would go first. I would go to Timothy first, childbearing. That's where I would go first. I would go into Eve was the one that committed the transgression, not Adam, because that is directly on to her question, correct? Okay, whenever the brother will get it, he'll tell you where it is, all right? Where's it at?
1 Timothy 2:15.
1 Timothy 2:15, sister. One of the brothers will read it for you, all right? We'll start there. 1 Timothy 2:15. You got it?
Book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Verse 14. And Adam was not deceived.
One verse above it, probably.
Verse 13. For Adam was firstborn, then Eve.
To the sister's question. When you read the word form there, the Christian church makes you think that God, was creating their bodies when it says form. That's not what it's talking about. All right. When it says that Adam was formed, it means that the Most High created this man who now could serve God. The creation that Adam received here was spiritual. You understand? So the best way to get this is Adam came into the truth first. He was formed. You and I are not the people we were years ago, correct? At least we shouldn't be. Everybody understands, right? We were formed the day we saw the camp, the day we saw Tazariot battling polite, the day that we heard Commanding General Yohana speak to young brothers in the ghetto, the day we came to class and put on all black. These days created us. They formed us. Well, Adam was the first one to come into the truth, not Eve. Everybody understands? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And Adam was not deceived.
Adam was not what?
Deceived.
Adam was not deceived. You know about the story about Adam and Eve, sister, correct? Adam was not deceived. You know that the figurative serpent beguiled Eve, not Adam. Adam was not deceived by that figurative serpent. Go ahead.
But the woman being deceived in the transgression.
But the woman being deceived, what?
In the transgression.
Read it for one more time. I think you're missing a word.
God, being deceived was in the transgression.
The water. But the woman being deceived was in the transgression. That solves that mystery. Who was at fault for the Garden of Eden? Eve. It's right here in the New Testament. She was at fault. She was the one that was naive, which is where that word comes from. All right? Nigh means near. Eve is who a stupid person is near to. You're near to Eve. Keep going.
Verse 15.
Notwithstanding, meaning this, to your question, even though Eve is the one that was the first dummy on the planet Earth, the first one to get beguiled and told that she could have everything. She could have it all. She would be a god. That's what the serpent told Eve. I think about that dumb idiot that Puff Daddy beat the piss out of in that hallway. You know what I thought? I thought about this driving over here today. I thought when she went to marry Puff Daddy, the reason she wanted to marry him is his money. And I can guarantee that after he beat her in what? 2016. How many years ago is that? That's like 8 years ago. I guarantee for 8 years, this is what she's been saying. He hasn't went to jail. Nobody will do anything about it because of his money. Because he paid to have the video hidden. Because he paid the hotel security. Because he paid to hide the evidence. Bitch, you married him for the money. And then he didn't get prosecuted. Come on, sister. He didn't get prosecuted because of the money. The money is why it's been 9 years. The money. The same money that is the reason she married him is what he used to push the case down and to hide evidence for 9 years. He gave $50,000, they said, to the hotel to suppress that videotape. So for 9 years, for 9 years, she's been sitting around like, when is Puff Daddy going to get arrested? I can't do anything about it. He has too much money. I can't do anything about it. You're a dummy and stupid. You are naive. You didn't realize that his money was going to get you and then defend him against your claims of abuse. His money. His money is why he can't get convicted. His money. You're a stupid, dumb bitch. That's what that girl is. I'm sorry for the babies. I apologize. I'll try to refrain. Everybody knows, though. All right? She's an idiot. You don't want to be like her. You understand? You don't want to be like her. So, what do? Please read.
She shall be saved in childbearing.
She shall be saved in what?
Childbearing.
In what?
Childbearing.
Listen, you don't want to be like Eve. Congratulations. I don't want you to be like her either. Nobody wants it. This is how you get saved. Are these your children? How many? That's a start. Give her a hand. That's a damn good start. I think you're working on it, right? I think you far into working on it. Good job, daughter. Well done. She shall be saved in childbearing. Childbearing, you can't be dumb to do that. Please believe it. Well, that takes strength that you don't have unless you know when you have a child. And that baby, when there was pain, oh my God, it almost starts immediately with the morning sickness. I mean, it's like immediate. Immediately, a silly woman, something will be required of her that she better step up and have. I mean, I'm talking about in the first month. You have a trash bag can next to you so you can vomit in it all night. You can't go anywhere, you're sick. You can't keep down any food. You feel terrible. And because you're in hell, you have to go to work, don't you? Because those babies have to eat. So now you're sick and you're throwing up and you're getting dressed to go out there and work. That's how you get saved. That's how you erase the blood that runs through your veins that traces back to her. Because it does. That's your great grandmother right there. And you want to have honor instead of disgrace. So now you do it in childbearing. That's step one. You go through the morning sickness, you go through the pain, you breastfeed that child if you're able. Some women cannot. You're going to have to decide which one you are. Are you just weak and you can't handle stress, or do you actually have a physical problem? That's up to you. No doctor will be able to tell you whether or not you're just too weak to do it or you actually physically can do it. But I know who will know: the Most High, who you must worship in sincerity and in truth. He'll know. He'll know which one it is. Think about it. And then comes the labor. Yeesh. Raise your hand if you're a man that has seen that. Oh, I've seen that, brother. That's a hell of a thing. You step back and look at that and go, this builds character. That's what this does. Going through this thing here, don't forget it. That's an amazing thing. Am I done? I'm not, because now the baby is here. And now you have not slept in months. You feel crazy from the lack of sleep. You're imagining things that aren't real. You're losing your mind because you're sleep deprived. Then the child gets older. Then you have to find a way to put the child in daycare so you can go back to work. And you're worried about the child missing. You're worried about somebody stealing the child. Then the child gets sick, because that is going to happen. The child is going to get sick, and the child is going to be in pain. And you'll sit in that emergency room, which seems like 2 days. And parenting is heavy, because years later, I realized this. I don't know when I realized this. It damn near was last week. if I'm in here 2 days, this probably isn't an emergency. Now, that never even occurred to me. You're just sitting there, you're in there for 15 hours, 27 hours. Never did I think, man, maybe I could just go home because I'm sitting here for 2 days, which means this is not an emergency. Guess what, brothers? Nobody goes home. They sit there for 2 days. They sit there and feel in their minds, this is an emergency. I've been in the waiting room 3 days. That'll save you doing that, going through that. Then the child gets older. Now it's time to go to school. Oh boy. Then you got to protect them from all those cousins that are going to try to molest them. That's what's next. All of the people out there that are going to try to inappropriately touch your children, they are out there and you know they are. And now you're worrying about them. Then they got to go to school. Then who's bullying them in school? Come on, man. You lose your damn mind. But you will change as a person if you're willing to go through that. Everyone understands. Childbearing, go ahead.
If they continue in faith.
If they do what?
Continue in faith.
Let me tell you something. Adam came into the truth first, but then Eve was formed. So what does Eve have to do if she wants to free herself from the crime that Eve committed? Stay in the truth. That phrase is how you know that formed is not physical. Formed is spiritual, because the Bible says if she comes into faith, if she finds faith, if she does what? Continues. How do I know she was ever in the faith? Officer? Trooper? You're right. He's right now. But give me before that. If continues means she's already in the faith, when did she come in the faith? It's right there, up front. When she give him a hand. When she was formed. That's when she came into faith. Well, if she wants to replace the disgrace of Eve with honor, she will stay in the truth. Why does that matter? Because a dummy is going to leave the truth. Why? Come on. Because her husband has another woman. Because you traced his phone. I learned about something today I never understood. I've heard it 1,000 times. What is this thing when somebody will send you their location? Now, what does that mean? Now, let me explain it as they told me today. I still don't get it, because does that mean that, is there a button you can push to tell people where you are? Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, it's two buttons, so you can send your current location where you're at. You can also have you track your location for a certain amount of time or forever. So
You have, meaning, and you want somebody to do this?
you can select it if you want to. Like,
Is it on an app or something, or is it built into the phone?
into the phone with Apple.
Apple, okay. It's not on the Samsung phone. Oh, that's the one y'all better get then. you tired? What you want to say? What does that mean? Go ahead.
You know what I mean? Figured out my location because I may have logged into iCloud.
Now you really confuse me now. It's something called an iCloud, but why do people log into it? But why would you log into iCloud? For what? What did you want to do on it? Search. Like a search engine or something. Oh, like pictures, things you save in your phone. So if you log into it to look for an old picture or old something, she knows when you went in it.
Some pictures and videos have the location.
Pictures and videos.
I go out and let's say I go out and go downtown, I take a picture and I put it on my iCloud and she has access to it. She'll go, that nigga downtown, he ain't in class.
No. I ain't never heard of that in my life. Y'all listen. Y'all having a rough time out there, right? Okay, well, all right. That sounds like what they told me today. Somebody had their hand up over here? Go ahead, up. Dad, can they hear him online? I don't know. Make sure they can all hear him. The brother is saying that they take the phone while you're sleeping, put it to your face, get up in your phone. Go ahead. Oh, get your fingerprint. Y'all better sleep with one eye open. All right. Well, I guess that's happening. Okay, well, go ahead.
So like, for Samsung,
Uh-huh.
This is the comment that the franchise called
Google
Google Maps.
Maps. Oh well, listen, even Samsung ain't safe. I thought it was safe. Google Maps. Now, I got Google Maps. You telling me if you go on Google Maps, what does that mean? Everybody knows where you are? If you go on the thing?
They go on your Google Maps and you got your location on it.
Okay, what do you mean go on it? Mean they gotta go into my phone?
They got, if you have your phone on you, you got Google Maps.
You telling me if Google Maps is on my phone, like let's say I put on Google Maps because I want to go to the Home Depot. So somebody goes on their phone, but how do they get into my Google Maps? God damn. Sister, go ahead, bro. Tell everybody how you do it. What do you? Come up to the chalkboard. Come up to the chalkboard. Make an equation on how you getting in that phone. Come on. I'm just joking. Go ahead, sister.
It's basically like it says, when you log into a smartphone, it access to all your photos, database locations. What they're doing is they're logging into iCloud and Google and putting in your device. So now it logs into multiple devices and they can get access to everything.
That's hard. That's too complicated for me. Already, I don't know what she said. And so I guess I gotta just be honest. I have sex with a lot of women. I don't have the brains for all that. So I'm with a woman. If you're not looking at me, I'm with a woman. Okay, so I mean, that's all. Anyway, things like that will make a woman leave the truth if she's naive. She will not continue in the faith she was formed in. She won't keep doing it because a woman's life so much of the time is built around a boy. So if your entire life is a boy, if you're nothing else, if you don't want to go to college and school or learn a trade, if you don't want to do anything but be with a boy, eventually you'll leave the truth because that kind of pressure that you pour into him will not be welcomed. He won't be able to fulfill everything that you are. And a woman has so much energy that if you don't have anything in your life but him, then you will be unfulfilled. And then when he gets another woman, to you, it will be like you lost your career. It will be like you dropped out of school. It will be like you got arrested, you lost your career, you lost everything. Why? Because I found out that he went to this girl's house. So now because of that, you've lost your life, and then you leave the truth. And then, of course, you never get cheated on again, right? That never happens again to you the rest of your life. You're naive. So what do? You do the best job you can with those children. You stay in the truth. Stay in the school. Don't leave the school like so many naive women have done. Continue.
And charity.
And what?
Charity.
What is charity? Charity is kindness. That's charity. You can break it down as love. To understand that you want to think kindness, that a woman is kind, if you can be kind. It can be difficult to be kind. So many women are taught to be cruel because cruelty is physically satisfying. It feels good to, when you get in a road rage incident, if you drive, it feels great. It feels great to, man, you mother effer, give him the finger, chase him down the highway, get into a good scrap and a good fight, like Love and Hip Hop, right? Love and Hip Hop, throw a champagne bottle right in their face, pull their hair, get into a good scrap. Oh man, you're gonna feel so alive. It feels good to be cruel to people. It feels good to tease some girl about what she looks like until she cries, to be a mean girl, to hurt other girls' feelings, to belittle a man. It feels great. Kindness, however, will make you a better person. It will make you better than Eve. Kindness. You want to be kind to the poor, kind to people who need your mercy. You want to be kind to them if you don't want to be like Eve. Keep going.
And holiness with sobriety.
And what?
Holiness with sobriety.
And holiness. What does it mean to be holy? To be separate. Don't be a common trollop. Don't be common. Be different. Be separate from the girls on your job and the girls, your best friends. That's where the whole BBL industry has been so successful because people believe that women are nothing but their body. Women are nothing but sexual objects. And you want to let the world know you're not like that. That's not what you are. You're different than them. You're holy. You're separate from the world, separate from uncleanness. You're not like that. To be holy, what? With sobriety. What does it mean to be sober? To think clearly. Too many times a woman is too emotional to think clearly. She's drunk on emotions. Well, if you can do these things and practice these things, boy, oh boy, you can really not be naive. You can be very different than Eve. Everyone understands, all right? This is important to the topic I'm going into tonight. I'm going to go into a woman who is absolutely cruel, who is absolutely seductive and cruel to her husband, a woman who is evil to her husband. This woman is the wife of Nathaniel 7 of the IUIC. Nathaniel 7, is that his name? The Bishop Nathaniel. His wife is evil. She's an evil woman, and she corrupted nasty Nate. And because he loved her, and because more than likely Nate's wife is the first woman he ever had relations with, because Nate grew up a nerd who girls did not like, who didn't think he could get women, and one day a woman finally gave him some. And then that woman went and corrupted him and pulled him out the truth. Bishop Nathaniel's wife is an evil woman now, and she hurt that poor brother. How do I know? I have her teachings here in class tonight that she wrote down, that she used to give to every sister that came into the Nathaniel 7 Bishop IUIC Purple Pig group. I have the writings here. Where did I get them? You know where I got them, don't you? Don't you know where I got these? I have them. And in these writings, she's saying how women can absolutely go to class on their period. I have it here in the writing. And she has the precepts that she gives all the new sisters. She's the one that designed those effeminate garments that they wear. She's the one that chose it. And she's the one that made sure her husband left the UPK because we taught him he could have another woman. He said that's why he left the UPK. I have her writings, her doctrine, the doctrine of Mrs. Bishop. I have it right here tonight. Do you not, Yediah? I sent it to you on Messenger. You have it. We're going to read it in a minute. She is just like Eve. She's naive, and she took her lies, her desire to have power over her husband, and she corrupted Bishop Nathaniel. She corrupted him and made him leave the truth. And now look at it. Half a homo in some purple group who only believes in never having another her. He only can have one of her. I have her writings. You guys go put them up on the screen while it's in Messenger. Messenger on Facebook. I hope. Oh, I said it to somebody else. No, here it is. Yeah, it's right here. Is this some other? Let me see. I never look at the picture. That's you, right? You good to go. All right, I'll take a few more questions while I'm waiting. Go ahead. Questions?
Sir. This is from, I have two questions from all Mr. One out of California, Southern California, sir. He said, Shalom, General Yahweh, can I get a breakdown of 2 Maccabees 3 and 23 to 26?
No problem. Go ahead and read.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 23. Nevertheless, Heliodorus executed that which was decreed. Verse 24. Now, as he was there present himself with his guard of the treasury.
You gotta make sure I do it with enough time before you got to go up, all right? This is on your phone, all right? Go ahead. You got to give me more. I don't know what we're talking about here. Go ahead.
Now, as he was there present.
Give Father one. He's going to have to give me more. Just tell me what's the point. All right. What's the specific thing I need to break down here? Until that, I'll move on. All right. Next.
Khan, sir. Khan. His other one was in 2 Maccabees 3 and 34. What is an apparition?
What is an apparition? Go ahead and read it.
And were the two men angels?
Okay, an apparition in a nutshell is an appearance. That's what an apparition is. It's an appearance, all right? So, if something just appears in front of you, that's an apparition. Everybody understands. Okay, now read it so I can answer his question.
Second Maccabees 3:34.
This book of 2 Maccabees 3, verse 34. And seeing that thou hast been scourged from heaven, declare unto all men the mighty power of God. And when they had spoken these words, they appeared no more.
Okay, to my memory, these are angels. That's to my memory. And they're speaking for the Most High God, which would literally make them angels, messengers from God. So these are angels. Next.
Sir. Another brother asked, sir, he said, Shalom, sir. He said, if I have one child with one rib, does that make my other rib his stepmother? And what is the school stance on step-parents, specifically stepfathers?
Got you. Okay, as far as that, where you got one rib you have a baby with, another rib you do not have a baby with. The Israelite School of UPK does not use the term stepfather, step-parents. The world uses that term. So there might be a time when talking to some school official or somebody, in our oppressor's world where you can easily describe your relationship as stepmother, stepfather. You get my point? It's not something that we traditionally use. Like if I have two ribs, I have a child with one. I've never heard of a brother saying or a sister saying, that's my stepdaughter. I've never heard of that. It could be just a cultural thing, but if you're asking me, do we say that? I've never heard that in all my years in school. That your wife's, the kids you don't have children with her are the stepmother. I've never heard that before. But what they do is behave themselves as mother figures to those children. That we absolutely do. And we do behave ourselves as father figures to the children that are not yours. If your wife had children before you met her, I have just never heard a brother say, this is my stepson, or a sister say, this is my stepson. All right. If that's his question, that's his answer. Next. All right. You got it. Go ahead, Al. See me one more time with thumb, y'all, please. I apologize. Go ahead, Al.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 35, 37, says, for I have come not to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother. And the word variance, I'm understanding it's at odds. Is there a defense against that? The word variance? This is a red Christ right here.
Yeah.
So the answer would be, it's holding firm in the truth. Like that variance is going to happen regardless. You see a general breakdown on that?
Okay, you said a defense. I don't understand that.
Variance is
You looked up variance. You know what it means. What? Yeah, this is while we're waiting. This is the doctrine of Bishop Nathaniel's purple wife right here, and this is her doctrine, her teachings that the women in the school have to learn. I have it right here. All right, she's the one that beguiled Nate the same way Eve beguiled Adam. The serpent went to Eve. She being beguiled was in the transgression. Well, if you want to know who is at fault for Nathaniel's fall, it's his wife. She's at fault. She's the spirit of Jezebel in the IUIC. How do I know? They sent it to me right here. I got it right here. I'm going to read it tonight. All right. All right, Warrior, go ahead.
Fact or quality of being different, divergent or inconsistent.
So Christ came to do what?
The difference for us, brothers in our truth, in our family, that's not.
Yes. But why do you feel the need to get a defense? That's the part I'm missing.
I was just here to say that father and daughter, mother-in-law, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Yeah.
So in here, so as you just referenced, there's no step parents, right?
Right.
It's supposed to be a mother figure or a father figure.
Right.
That's her children.
Right.
I was just trying to get a better understanding of the scripture.
Okay, no sweat. To understand it, you have to think about your physical mother. Did you grow up with your family, physical mother and father? Okay, are they in the truth? What do they think about you being in the truth?
Try to break it down to
Did you celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving when you were in the world with them? Do you still celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving with them? What do they think about that? What do they think about you? Do you go over and gather with them on that day? What do they think about the fact that you don't go over there on that day? This is the precept. You understand? There is now a separation in your family. You and your mother and father don't agree. That's because of Jesus Christ. You understand? You know how many councils I've been in with a family that is in absolute agreement about Christmas, about God, about New Year's Eve, about school and going to college. And the children are being molested by the father. But the family is in agreement with one another. You know what the problem with Black and Hispanic families is? They're joined in wickedness. They're together. They're absolutely in league with each other. There is no problem. Go over there on Christmas. Problem do they have? None. You're being molested in the back room. But there is no schism. There is no problem in the house. You know what the Isupk does? We turn families upside down. We wring them out. We destroy their peaceful Christmas. Destroy Thanksgiving. We destroy birthdays and Valentine's Day. And now because of that, we can all look at that little girl who is crying every night because someone is coming in her bedroom and touching her. The same man that sits at the dinner table. We destroy families. Barakatah Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. We do it because Christ said to do it. Now read the precept for everyone's education.
Matthew chapter 10 verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Read one verse above it.
I will come. Matthew 10 verse 34. Think that I am not.
One more time.
Think not. I have come to set peace on earth.
You see, this is a giant misconception about Jesus Christ. Like he said, it's written in red. Don't think that I came to set peace on earth. What do you think Jesus Christ came? So that you all could have a bigger turkey? So you all could get all the drug addicts, child molesters, drug dealers, all come around the kitchen table and hold hands and pray? That is not his point. You're already doing that. You already were together. That's not why he died. Don't think it. He came not to set peace on earth. Here's the problem. When people read this, they think that Jesus Christ came to start World War III and start war with France and war with England. That is not what he's talking about. When he said, I came not to set peace on earth, he's talking about your house, the house you grew up in. What's your daddy? Your daddy who was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and you're about to join him. You know why? Because you're with your dad, aren't you? You're an alcoholic too now, just like dad. You're a drug addict too, just like your pop. You're going to jail, just like your dad. Now you're just like your brother, your big brother you look up to, don't you? Oh, you look up to your big brother, don't you? Now you're going to jail with him. Maybe you can find a way for you two to be cellies. Now you've unalived people, just like your brother, just like your family. We're destroying that family in the name of Jesus Christ, because that is the problem with life. That dysfunctional piss hole that you live in, that you celebrate Christmas with and Thanksgiving and Memorial Day with. We're destroying your Memorial Day. We're destroying your Valentine's Day, your 4th of July, because the people that celebrate it in your house are pieces of garbage anyway. Everyone understands. Keep going.
I come not to send peace, but a sword.
I didn't come to bring peace, but I came to bring a sword. Then he's going to describe what he does with that sword. He's not going to stab the Russians with the sword. He's not going to stab military people with the sword. That's not what this sword is for. This is not a sword for killing people in a battle. I came not to bring peace, but a sword. To do what? Read.
Verse 35. For I have come to set a variance against his father.
What does he do with this sword? He slices your relationship with you and your drug addict and your alcoholic father. Now that relationship is over. So now your father is a child molester and a drug addict and a drunk, but you will be nothing like him. Why? Because of the sword of Christ. Now you two don't drink together and smoke weed together anymore like you used to. No, you don't do that with your cousins anymore, with your uncles anymore. Why? Because Christ separated you and your father. He did that. Continue.
The daughter against her.
Goodness. You want your wife to be like her mom. It's up to you. It's up to you, If that's what you want. You want to build a family? You want her and her mom to see each other every day? You want her to be just like her mom? Christ separated you from your mother. So you don't have to have 10 different men. You hear what China Monet said? China Monet said her mother had 5 men, and she wouldn't listen to any of them. China Monet needs to be separated from her mother. She needs that, or else she'll be just like her mother. And here we do it. We make sure that your mother, she's a hoe, she's a prostitute, she's a loose woman, she marries men for money, she does all these things. She had 3 abortions. You're the baby that the doctor told her if she had another abortion, she couldn't have kids anymore. So that's why you were born. You're not like her anymore because of Christ. Continue.
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Keep going.
Verse 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Why will a man's foes be them of his own household, officer? All you got to do is don't think, just read. Why will a man's foes be them of his own household? Because of Christ. Because that's what you just read. Because of Christ. That's why you're not at Christmas dinner. That's why your family is angry at you and upset with you. Because of Christ. Understood? Good to go. All right, where are we at? Anything else? You died?
I have, sir.
Go ahead.
I showed it on the screen for everybody.
You want to do it now?
Concert, I showed it for you.
Did you read it to him? Yeah, read it. Put it up on this. So let's go ahead and read it real fast. I can damn near see it. Okay. Hold on. There it is. Make it nice and big. All right. Oh, I forgot to do Memorial. Is it Memorial's Day or Memorial Day? Who knows? Memorial Day? All right. Memorial Day. I've been saying Memorial's Day. Y'all ain't even say nothing about it. Okay. Look at it. Read the top, please.
The daughters of Sarah.
Now, the brother up here, didn't you say some of your family members in the world are in the IUIC? Did they ever get this video, this letter from the Nate's Purple Wife? Ask him about this. Ask him about this letter right here, right? This is, go ahead and read it, guy.
So Leviticus 15, verses 19.
So this is, for those of you that don't know, this is a letter sent to me from someone in the IUIC who received these letters when they came into the Purple Awakening. All right? And they said, this is what Nate's wife sends all of the women in the school. They call them the daughters of Sarah, and she is their liege lord. They have to all obey her. And this is the writings that she's writing. Go ahead.
Come, sir. It says that if a woman have an issue and her issue be blood, menstrual cycle.
Can I stop you just to skip down to here to show you that it's written from a woman, which will let you know it's written from her. She signs it at the bottom. Read that right there.
Come. If I start my menstrual cycle on December 1st.
Okay, that's a woman, right? It's not if you start your menstrual cycle. If I start my menstrual cycle, this is a woman. You'll see what woman it is in a second. Go to the top.
Come, sir. Back where I was, sir.
Yes, please.
Come, sir. Shall be put apart 7 days. Every woman knows when she sees her period and when it starts. And for some, it could be a spot. For others, a gush only. You know the moment. Whether it be first thing in the morning or in the middle of the day or at night.
So this is her teaching all this women in the school about their periods, telling them what a period is, how they know when it is. Now let me skip down to the pertinent part. Remember the day starts from Genesis right here. Is that it? Hold on. Let's say keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right here. If you want copies of this, I'll just send it to everybody, all right? Just let somebody know and we'll get you the copies of it. But I want you to read right there. This is her just explaining Bible, teaching them all the scriptures about being unclean and about having a child and what they have to do when they have a child. This is her giving all her wisdom to the women in that purple group. This is the woman that beguiled Bishop Nathaniel. She is the one that did it. She's the one that pulled him out the UPK because she didn't want him to get another woman. Come to find out, he's half a homo and he would have never gotten another woman anyway. But she pulled him out of this school for her fear of him getting a woman, and because she is just like Eve. She wanted power. That's how Satan beguiled Eve. No, God knoweth that if thou eatest from the tree, thou wilt be as a god. She now runs all of these purple men's because she got her husband to leave the school and to make sure they only had one wife, her. Read.
Come. So here are some examples. If I talk about medical cycle.
No, currently, please. At the bottom. Currently go ahead.
Sir. Currently in our various lands of captivity, we are gathering together to worship in homes and in buildings that are obviously not the holy tabernacle.
Obviously, these places that we're gathering together in are not the holy tabernacle. They're buildings and homes. They're having their classes in people's homes. They're having their classes in buildings, not in the holy tabernacle. Keep going.
Come, sir. The tabernacle in Jerusalem was destroyed.
Oh, the tabernacle in Jerusalem is gone. It's destroyed. Keep going.
Come. We no longer have to keep the Levitical law of animal sacrifice.
We don't have to kill animals anymore, which is why you brothers never say a law is done away with ever. Don't ever let that phrase come out of your stupid mouth. No laws are done away with. The law of animal sacrifice is not done away with. It is increased. It is made more stringent. It is not gone. The law of sacrifice is not done away with. The law of sacrifice is more stringent than it ever was. Now a lamb is not good enough. It's like the Most High increased the fine, increased the penalty. He didn't get rid of the penalty. Before you could kill a goat and be finished. Now you have to destroy your ego, destroy your selfish lust. The penalty went up. It didn't get erased. Everyone understands. Keep going.
Christ did away with that.
Don't ever say that. Keep going.
If you have an issue of blood, you can fellowship.
Read that again.
If you have an issue, it's like when you have an issue of blood, you can fellowship.
A little louder.
If you have an issue of blood, you can fellowship.
This is her teaching in that place. She is teaching that you can fellowship when you're on your period. You can. That's her purple doctrine. This is what she taught her husband. She taught him this. How do you know she taught him this? You damn near got to understand people. Because this benefits her. Do you understand? You know what? When I'm on my period, I can come to the class. I can come to the, she should just say, instead of saying you, she should say I. When I'm on my period, I can come to the Passover. I can come to all of the fellowshipping. I can come out and come to the class. If she doesn't come to the class because she's on her period, what could happen? Shabal? Oh, it's going to be some other pretty girls there. That's why she has to be there. She can't stay home. There's people trying to get her half a homo husband. He's safe, baby. Dumpling, don't worry about your man. He's all right. He's coming home. Some women are so terrified of you getting another wife. They will pervert the Bible so that anytime you go into that room, they are sitting next to you. They are always there because they are absolutely unconfident. They don't have any confidence at all. She makes up a rule that says she can fellowship on her period. And why? And in her mind, where does that rule come from? Because we're not in the temple of David anymore. Everybody heard that, right? Because the temple is destroyed. Guess what the Bible does not say? That the law of being unclean has nothing to do with the temple. This is how bad it is and how dumb Nate's wife is. The word temple is not even in the scriptures in these verses. It doesn't mention the word temple. The word David or temple or tabernacle, none of that is mentioned in there. It has nothing to do with the temple. You are separate from the people, not the place, the people. You're staying away from the Passover because of the people at the Passover. You're staying away from fellowshipping because of the fellows, because of the people there. It's a quarantine. It doesn't matter if it's on the moon or in the tabernacle of David or in a corner store. The people are what you're staying away from. It's a quarantine, sister. Give her a hand. That's it. That's what it is. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the building. Our laws are only pertinent in the building. The building gets destroyed. Knowest thou not that the Most High dwell in temples not made with hands? What difference does it make? She's a woman. And she's the one that's at fault, not Nate. Nate is silly and he's simple. And he's just trying to fight his urges to have sex with other men. And he wants a woman. And listen, it's honorable when you're struggling. Nate is struggling with homosexuality, struggling with those urges to have sex with men, because he has had sex with a man in the past, Bishop Nathaniel. He's fighting to stop that, and he embraces this woman to help him. What does she do? Create a religion all about her. Create a religion about him not getting another wife and her getting to come into their building on her period. If you want this, I'll send it to you. Of course, you can read it for yourself. Anymore, you can read down if you see something else that's pertinent at all. Okay. Can I get into Memorial Day? Can I read one? Do I have time to play a video about Memorial Day? Damn. Okay, hold on. You want me to go down now with you?
I mean, brother, I do have a video.
Okay, just let me know if I should stop the class or if I can play his video. The video I want is about the brother who had his eyes gouged out of his head. I'll just play the video and that should be enough, all right, for tonight. Did I send you that? No, not that one. That's not the one I want. Hold on one second. This is not on Messenger. Okay, I sent you 2 videos about him. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, this is, no. Yeah, play that one, but I'll skip you around for time's sake. Yeah, it says, episode 16. Okay, go ahead and play that. Everyone listen carefully, all right? Focus in, because this is someone that our oppressor will never celebrate on the day that he most deserves to be celebrated. As you know, blacks and Hispanics, brother, they have been the bedrock core of the United States military since it began. In the Civil War, in the Revolutionary War, black and Hispanic men were the bedrock champions who won those wars. And I'm going back to the Revolutionary War, to Crispus Attucks, what's his name? Crispin Attucks, you can look it up. Crispus Attucks and hundreds of other men that fought and gave their lives so that America could become a mighty nation. They don't get remembered. In the South, they were denigrated and disgraced after they came home from war. I'm going to talk about a particular story. There was a big story of its day in South Carolina. Okay, I want you to hold that, Yediah, and then also hold with the screenshot that I sent you about South Carolina. It's a screenshot. Okay, if you have to give it to another brother, I'm gonna try to run this down. Please play. Rewind.
Out of
Right there.
Augusta, Georgia, and quickly boarded a Greyhound bus to North Carolina to rejoin his family.
Hey, I gotta pause because where we started. Pause it. This is a brother who got out of the United States military. He did, I think, 17 months in the United States military, was rewarded and decorated for his service in the United States military. They gave him $600, and they put him and other black soldiers and other white soldiers on a bus so they could go travel to their home state. All right. So they're all on the bus. They're getting dropped off as they pass the states that they live in. Everybody's with me. All right, go ahead.
However,
Okay, folks, this here is just a quick rest stop. So if y'all want to stretch your legs and whatnot, best to do so now, because we'll be moving on in exactly 10 minutes.
Excuse me, sir. The colored restrooms are way on the other side of this building. Do you think there'll be enough time for me to run over there?
Now, how in the hell should I know? I ain't no expert on how long it takes you people to go to the bathroom. Unless you want to risk being left here, I'd say the answer is no. Get on back to your seat.
I'll be real quick.
You niggas think just because you're wearing a white man's uniform, that gives you some kind of special privileges. Well, let me tell you what I think. Y'all ain't
David,
gonna...
I already know what you think, Cracker. And I could have done my business and been back in the time it just took you to go running off in the mouth.
You smart ass, you best watch your tone, boy, or I'm gonna throw your black ass off this damn bus and make you walk to wherever it is you're going.
Thanks for the walk.
after a while, the bus stopped.
Pause.
at Statesboro.
That is from a transcript from the brother who told them exactly what happened. Orson Welles is going to read the transcript again towards the middle. That's what happened to him because he asked to go to the bathroom. He had to go to the bathroom. He went next. The devil, who was the oppressor who was driving the bus, was angered because he asked to go to the bathroom. It was too bold for him to speak that way, to even ask. He should have just sat in the seat and waited until his schedule would stop. Because he asked, could he stop and go to the bathroom? The oppressor was angered by his audacity, angered by it. Then he cursed the man. And then the brother cursed him back to assert his manhood. And then this happened. Continue.
Carolina to let passengers off. The bus driver also got out and proceeded to contact the local police. He came back minutes later with Chief of Police Linwood Shull and a group of officers.
That's him, Chief. The one wearing the army uniform. Mouthed off to me something awful. Ranting and raving like he owned the damn bus company. Now don't that just beat all? I bet he's drunk.
All right, we'll handle it from here. You there, boy. Come here. Is there a problem, sir? You just bet there's a problem, boy. You made it. What the hell you doing mouthing off to the driver like you doing? But I did. I only asked the driver if I don't want to hear no excuses, boy. Where you coming from? Camp Gordon. I was discharged today. Got any discharge papers to prove that? Yes, sir.
I'm going to pause you down for time's sake. Skip down to when you see, let me see Orson Welles. Skip down, let me see the picture. Keep going, skip. That's the brother. Keep
Hi,
going.
we're Visible, the wireless company that
Let
makes
me bring
things.
the commercials when we can.
And doctor, not new.
Get down. Keep going.
Grabbed me by my lip.
Right.
As the judge said.
Yes. Let me hear it.
I told him that I could not see how to come out. I was blind.
Rewind a little bit.
He said, feel your way out. Knocked me unconscious. After I commenced pulling, wrung it out of his hand. He resist. He cursed and said, I'm Terminal Atlanta Jr. being duly
On his ABC
Right
radio
here.
show, Orson
He's going to read the
Welles
transcript from court.
on the July 28, 1946 broadcast. Wells read an affidavit sent to him by the NAACP and signed by Woodard. He criticized the lack of action by the South Carolina government as intolerable and shameful.
Good morning, this is Orson Welles speaking. I'd like to read to you an affidavit. I, Isaac Woodward Jr., being duly sworn to depose and state as follows, that I am 27 years old and a veteran of the United States Army, having served for 15 months in the South Pacific and earned 1 battle star. I was honorably discharged on February 12, 1946 from Camp Gordon, Georgia at 8:30 p.m. at the Greyhound Terminal, Atlanta, Georgia. While I was in uniform, I purchased a ticket to Winnsboro, South Carolina, and took the bus headed there to pick up my wife to come to New York to see my father and mother. About 1 hour out of Atlanta, the bus driver stopped at a small drugstore. As he stopped, I asked him if he had time to wait for me until I had a chance to go to the restroom. He cursed and said no. When he cursed me, I cursed him back. When the bus got to Aiken, he got off and went and got the police. They didn't give me a chance to explain. The policeman struck me with a billy across my head and told me to shut up. After that, the policeman grabbed me by my left arm and twisted it behind my back. I figured he was trying to make me resist. I did not resist against him. He asked me, was I discharged? And I told him yes. When I said yes, that is when he started beating me with a billy, hitting me across the top of the head.
Brother, this is in 1946. When the cop twisted my arm behind my back, I assumed he did it to make me resist. That's what happened with Eric Gardner. That's what happened with, what's the other brother's name? George Floyd. When these cops grip you up and grab you like that, they are trying to make you resist. They want you to resist. So they grab you and touch you and twist you so you can go out because it hurts. Because you can't breathe. And because they want you to twist your body and to move, they want you to fight. Because the minute that you fight because you're struggling for air, they will be justified in killing you. This has been going on since 1946. Imagine how long before that it's been going on. Keep going.
After that, I grabbed his billy and wrung it out of his hand. Another policeman came up and threw his gun on me and told me to drop the billy, and he dropped me, so I dropped the billy. After I dropped the billy, the second policeman held his gun on me while the other one was beating me. He knocked me unconscious. After I commenced to come to myself, he hollered, "Get up." I started to get up. He started punching me in my eyes with the end of the billy. When I finally got up, he pushed me inside the jailhouse and locked me.
You started doing what? Pause. You started to punch him in his eyes with the billy club. You just kept hitting him in his eyes with the billy club. In both of his eyes, which lets you know how purposeful it is. That he hits him in one, hits him in the other, hits him in one, hits him in the other with a billy club to make sure that he's blinded for the rest of his life. And he was. And he was. Continue.
I could not see. A policeman said, "Let's go up here and see what the judge says." I told him that I could not see how to come out. I was blind. He said, "Feel your way out." He said I'd be all right after I washed my face. He led me to the judge, and after I told the judge what happened, he said, "We don't have that kind of stuff down here." Then the policeman said, he wrung my billy out of my hand, and I told him if he didn't drop it, I'd drop him. That's how I knew it was the same policeman as that beat my eyes out. After that, the judge spoke and said, "I fine you $50 for 30 days in the road." And I said I'd pay the $50, but I did not have the $50 at the time. So the policeman said, "You have some money there in your wallet." He took my wallet and took out all I had. That was a total of $40 and took $4 from my watch pocket. I had a check for $694.70.
Let me tell you what happened. Read down, scroll down a little bit to the court case. Scroll down, scroll down. Keep going, keep going, keep going. A little quicker. Pause. Stop right there. Let me tell you what happened. Orson Welles kept talking about this. It was ridiculous. It was a fervor, just like it was with Emmett Till. You brothers and sisters better thank the Most High for whoever invented the camera. Because if not for the camera, our oppression would be deeper than it is right now. The camera. Because white people have it in their mind that they are the good guys. They're the good people until someone records. And that's the way it always has been. That man came on, that man, his picture was in the newspaper with his eyes bludgeoned out of his head. And it shocked white people to something that they don't want to face. I'm not the good guy. I'm the villain. And this story was all over the world, just like Emmett Till's face went all over the planet. And it made white people face something about themselves that they don't even know is happening. They don't know what they're doing. They see a life that is perfect and built for them, and they don't know who is being bludgeoned to create it. They don't know. I got to move on because of my time. Well, this kept happening. Finally, because the state of Georgia wouldn't do anything about it, the federal government pressed charges against the sheriff and his deputy because it was on a bus route that was owned by the federal government and because he had a uniform on from the federal government. So now they took him to court. Play it. I'm wrapping it up. You done. Go ahead.
Also disgusted. He wrote a letter to Attorney General Tom C. Clark the following day, demanding that action be taken to address South Carolina's apparent reluctance to try the case. 6 days later, on September 26, Truman directed the United States Department of Justice to open an investigation in the case.
Truman was the president of the United States at that time. Go ahead.
Police Chief Shull and several of his officers were indicted in U.S. District Court in Columbia, South Carolina. It was considered within federal jurisdiction because the beating had occurred at a bus stop on federal property, and at the time of the assault, Woodard was in uniform of the armed services.
Come on, fast forward.
Thanks to Jim Crow, blacks were excluded from serving on juries.
Read that part.
The case was heard.
I'll do it for you. Because of Jim Crow was basically any southern state could exclude black people from anything based on race. Black people were not allowed to serve on a jury. It was illegal for a black person to serve on a jury. So the jury was just all white men. Continue.
The very definition of a travesty of justice. Thanks to Jim Crow, blacks were excluded from serving on juries. So the case was heard by 12 angry white men. The local U.S. attorney charged with handling the case failed to interview anyone except the bus driver, a decision that Judge Waring, a civil rights advocate, believed was a gross dereliction of duty. Waring later wrote of being disgusted at the way the case was handled at the local level, commenting, "I was shocked by the hypocrisy of my government in submitting that disgraceful case." The defense was even worse. During the trial, for the benefit of the all-white jury, the attorney for Shull shouted racial epithets at Sergeant Woodard. It had gotten so bad.
Man is a United States, a decorated veteran of World War II. As he takes the witness stand to be a witness against the people that bludgeoned his eyes, the defense attorney just screams out and calls him a nigger the whole time he's on the stand for the benefit of the jurors, for their benefit. Continue.
Waring put a stop to it by threatening the attorney with contempt of court.
And this white man, this was a good white man who was the judge over this case. Good white man. He was trying his best just to be fair. And that's all blacks and Hispanics need from white people. Just for them to create some environment of fairness. Then we'll use our talent to overcome the rest. Because the tribe of Judah is talented. The tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Benjamin are talented. If you can just make a fair place for us, we'll conquer any other obstacle. But you can't even have that place of fairness, even if you are a veteran of the United States military. The judge was appalled at the trial and how the defense attorney behaved. Keep going.
The count of the events. Shull firmly denied it. He claimed that Woodard had threatened him with a gun, and that Shull had used his nightclub to defend himself.
In his closing arguments, it was self-defense. His life was threatened by this man. The soldier, the United States soldier, threatened him, the sheriff, with a gun. He was dangerous. The sheriff was in fear of his life. Does that sound familiar? Keep going.
Stated to the jury,
"Gentlemen of the jury."
Oh, this is what you need. This is, if I could, this is directly from what the defense attorney said in his closing argument. This is it. This is a quote. Play.
"Already know that Woodard here is a member of an inferior race, a race prone to lying and public drunkenness. If you will recall, Chief Shull stated that he smelled alcohol on Woodard's breath. And before the chief arrived, Woodard was talking out of his place, ranting, if you will, to the bus driver, who was desperately trying to calm him down until the police could arrive. Now, I ask you, that's not the talk of a sober nigger from South Carolina, is it? Chief Shull has firmly denied this nigger's lies regarding the events, and done so under oath. Woodard threatened him with a gun, and my client, in a brave attempt to defend himself, used his nightclub to do so. Our own fine, upstanding local doctors contradicted statements made by these liberal army doctors the prosecution threw up here. Our doctors have stated, again, under oath, that it is next to impossible that repeated blows to the head, which, again, was defensive, could render any man, white or colored, blind. So, gentlemen of the jury, there you have it. You have your work cut out for you. All I can say to you fine, upstanding sons of the South is this. If you rule against police officer Shull, then let this South Carolina secede again.
Pause.
November 5th.
Now you're going to understand something about your oppressor. He is, at his nature, a fascist. He scares people into allowing him to rule. He told these white men, if you convict this sheriff, then let South Carolina succeed again. Meaning, if you put him in jail, there's going to be civil war. Again, you cannot convict this sheriff. Don't you understand the real reason that you can't have progress in America? Because for every good white man that gives you student loans, that gives you loan forgiveness, that gives you rights, the backlash means civil war. So even good white men aren't willing to be kind to you because they don't want everyone to die because they treated you with self-respect. At the end of this trial, the sheriff was found not guilty. Not guilty. The judge was appalled. The judge wrote a letter to Truman. The judge had to leave South Carolina because they tried to kill him. The judge. Now put the screenshot up on the screen. This happened in 1946. Harry S. Truman, another white man that tried to be fair, a good white man, Harry Truman, the president, tried, of course. He bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You think what they're doing to the Palestinians is terrible. You should see what they did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You'll cry real tears if you cry for them Palestinians. You should see what happened to those Japanese people over there in that day. Anyway, that being said, he tried to be fair to black people. On his State of the Union address, when he got reelected, he brought up this case and how unfair it was and how much work they had to do to make America more fair. He tried the best he could. Then now that happened in 1946. After that, and it was terrible and horrible, and the State of the Union speech, the inaugural address from the president was saying that we have to make things more fair. Then in 1961, what happened in South Carolina? Hidayah?
In 1961, the dome of the South Carolina State House became home to the Confederate flag.
20 years later, after good white people tried to arrest this sheriff, after this man was blinded, do you know that the sheriff in the jail cell took him and said, have a drink of whiskey. It'll calm you down. Then when he wouldn't drink it, they held his head down and poured it on his face. That's in the transcript that Orson Welles read. He refused to drink it because he knew that if he drank that alcohol, they would say he was drunk. So he said, no, I don't want to drink. That's when they put it on his face. But he had no drug alcohol limit in his blood at all because he knew that if he took a drink of that alcohol, even though Lord knows he needed it in the pain he was in, he refused. And that's why they always say he was on drugs, he was high, he must have been, he was smoking weed that day when they beat you and abuse you and take your life. They were doing that in 1946 and before. They fought, they tried. In 1961, they rose the Confederate flag over the State House of South Carolina. That's progress in America. If you try, if you fight for rights, if you elect Barack Obama as president, you're going to get Donald Trump next. You're going to get affirmative action struck down next. Because if you try at all to raise your head above the ground, white people are going to be there in anger to stuff you deeper underground. Now, if you're a brother out there, if you're a man out there that is a soldier, and there are certain men that are soldiers, you're born this way. I am a man that's like that. Either way, I was going to serve some master. There was no other path for me. This was the path I was always going to take. Either I would have been in the white man's military, I would have been in the white man's police department, or I would have been in somebody's killer, in some criminal organization. This was always the path for me. Later on, I realized who I was meant to serve. I realized that there were soldiers who were appreciated. Soldiers who their eyes weren't beat out their heads. Soldiers who weren't denigrated and abused. I found my band of brothers. I found the men that I could be part of, that I could be one with. I found my Lord, Commanding General Yohana, and I take orders from him, and I serve him, And you brothers found your Lord in here as well. You found your camp leader or the captain above you or the general above you. You're a soldier in here, and we thank you for your service. With that, pass the class over to Priest Officer.
Yeah.